What if the very things you trust to create a comfortable, clean, and safe home are, in fact, silently undermining your health? What if the cozy ambiance, the convenient tools, and the spotless surfaces are introducing toxins into your body without you ever realizing it? Welcome, my friends. Professor Vitalis here with your daily dose of wisdom and wellness, where science and experience walk hand in hand. Today, we are embarking on a crucial journey through your own home, a place that should be your sanctuary. We will uncover 8 everyday objects that may be holding hidden dangers. I ask you to listen carefully to each one, but it is essential that you stay with me until the very end. The final item on our list is perhaps the most widespread, used by nearly every single one of us daily, often in a way that dramatically amplifies its potential for harm. And at the end, I will share the simple, immediate change you can make to neutralize this threat. This final piece of knowledge may be the most important you receive today. Let's begin our investigation with something that seems the very definition of harmless: scented candles. Who doesn't love the warm, flickering glow and the delightful fragrances they bring into a room? They promise relaxation, ambiance, and a sense of coziness. However, what our noses perceive as a pleasant scent, our bodies may perceive as a chemical assault. Many of these candles, particularly those made from paraffin wax, a petroleum byproduct, release concerning chemicals when burned. A key component in many citrus-scented products is a chemical called limonene. On its own, in an orange peel, it's perfectly natural. But when it's released from a burning candle into the air inside your home, it undergoes a chemical reaction with ozone, a common indoor air pollutant. This transformation creates formaldehyde, a substance the International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies as a known human carcinogen. Every time you light that fresh lemon candle, you could be manufacturing a cancer-causing agent in your own living room. Exposure to formaldehyde is linked to a host of health problems, from inflammatory reactions and liver toxicity to a significantly increased risk of lung and breast cancers. For expectant mothers, the danger is even more acute, as this exposure can have adverse effects on the developing fetus. Furthermore, to make those lovely scents last for hours, manufacturers often use chemicals called phthalates. Think of phthalates as scent extenders. Unfortunately, they are also notorious endocrine disruptors. What does that mean? It means they are chemical imposters. They mimic or block our natural hormones, throwing our body's delicate communication system into chaos. This disruption can lead to hormonal imbalances, an increased risk of liver cancer, and serious complications for pregnancies. In our children, exposure to phthalates has been linked to developmental brain issues, potentially contributing to disorders like ADHD and worsening behavioral problems. Suddenly, that sweet vanilla aroma doesn't seem so sweet, does it? It's not just the candles. The International Agency for Research on Cancer has found that a staggering 91% of common household products can release formaldehyde. The simple act of burning anything indoors, especially in an unventilated space like a bedroom, also increases carbon monoxide levels. This can lead to symptoms like dizziness, headaches, and nausea, your body's early warning system that something is wrong. I strongly advise you to use scented products with extreme moderation. Your first and best option for clearing odors is always to open a window and allow fresh air to circulate. True freshness doesn't have a scent. It's the absence of pollutants. Next on our list is another device often purchased in the name of health, the humidifier. During the dry winter months, many of us use these devices to add moisture to the air, hoping to soothe dry sinuses and skin. It seems like a perfectly logical, healthy thing to do. But here lies a paradox. The very water you use to create a healthy environment can become a breeding ground for an unhealthy one. A fascinating study looked at the bacterial levels in humidifier water tanks over time. The researchers expected that chlorinated tap water would suppress bacterial growth compared to purified water. What they found was shocking. After just 12 hours, both the purified water and the tap water contained comparable and significant amounts of microbes. The chlorine in the tap water was not nearly effective enough to prevent the water from becoming a microbial soup. Why does this happen? A humidifier's water tank, if not meticulously maintained, is the perfect environment for bacteria to flourish. It's dark, it's wet, and the water is often left sitting for long periods. It becomes a stagnant incubator. Dangerous bacteria like Pseudomonas aeruginosa, which can cause aggressive infections, Legionella pneumophila, the cause of the severe type of pneumonia known as Legionnaire's disease, and Streptococcus pneumonia, can all thrive in this environment. When you turn on the machine, you aren't just misting water into the air. You are aerosolizing a cloud of these harmful bacteria, inhaling them directly into your lungs. This can lead to serious respiratory illnesses, pneumonia, sepsis, and a range of other debilitating conditions. The solution requires diligence. You must clean the water reservoir of your humidifier every 2 to 3 days without fail. Use a gentle brush and a solution of white vinegar or hydrogen peroxide to scrub away any biofilm, then rinse thoroughly. And, crucially, when the device is not in use, do not store it with water inside. Empty it completely and let the tank and all its parts air dry. It's a tool for health only when it is impeccably clean. Let's move from the air to our closets and discuss dry cleaned clothing. The convenience of professional cleaning for our delicate garments is undeniable. We drop them off and they come back looking pristine. But have you ever considered the invisible residue left behind? The vast majority of dry cleaners use a powerful solvent called perchloroethylene, commonly known as PERC. It's incredibly effective at removing stubborn stains, but it's also widely recognized by health agencies, including the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, as a probable human carcinogen. This chemical doesn't just wash away. It clings to the fibers of your clothes. When you bring that garment into your home, the PERC slowly off-gases, releasing chemical vapors into your personal space. These substances can enter your body either through inhalation or direct absorption through your skin. Studies have indicated that long-term, repeated exposure to PERC can increase the risk of developing several types of cancer, specifically cancer of the esophagus, uterus, and bladder. Even short-term exposure can cause immediate symptoms. That feeling of dizziness, the irritation in your nose and throat, a sudden skin rash, or even memory fog after visiting a dry cleaner or unpacking your clothes, that could be a direct reaction to PERC vapors. Making matters worse is the plastic garment bag. Cleaners often bag the clothing before it has a chance to fully air out, which saves them time. But this practice traps those harmful vapors inside, concentrating them against your clothes. When you bring that bag into your closet and open it, you release a concentrated puff of PERC and another solvent often used, benzene, another known carcinogen, into your enclosed space. To protect yourself, you must adopt a new ritual. As soon as you get your dry cleaning home, take it outside or to a well-ventilated area like a garage or balcony. Remove the plastic bag immediately. Give each garment a good shake and let it air out for several hours, ideally a full day before bringing it into your closet. Store them in a cool, shaded area, as heat can increase the rate at which these vapors are released. Now, let's look inside your wallet or purse at our fourth item, the thermal paper receipt. These glossy, inkless receipts seem like such a trivial part of our daily lives. We barely glance at them before stuffing them away. However, the technology that allows them to be printed without ink is the very source of the problem. Thermal paper is coated with a special layer of chemicals that react to heat from the printing head to form the characters. A primary chemical used in this coating is bisphenol A, or BPA. By now, many of us have heard of BPA, and it is a powerful endocrine disruptor. What you may not realize is how easily it can be absorbed directly through your skin. Extensive research on BPA has revealed a frightening list of potential effects. In men, prolonged exposure can significantly reduce sex hormones like testosterone, leading to erectile dysfunction and a diminished libido. In women, it's been linked to premature puberty and an increased risk of birth defects. Furthermore, exposure to BPA is associated with a wide array of diseases, including uterine and breast cancer, diabetes, obesity, and even eczema. The danger lies in how we handle these seemingly innocuous slips of paper. BPA absorbs more readily into the skin when it comes into contact with oils or fats. Consider this. You apply hand lotion and then you handle a receipt. A study found that this exact scenario can cause your body to absorb significant levels of BPA. Even a brief 2-second contact with a receipt can lead to a surge in BPA absorption that is nearly 80 times the accepted safe limit. This statistic is truly alarming and reveals the hidden toxicity we handle every day. My advice is firm. Treat these receipts like the hazardous material they are. When offered one, simply decline it if you don't need it. Ask for an e-receipt whenever possible. Do not store them in your wallet or purse where they can contaminate your money and other items. And if your job requires you to handle receipts frequently, I implore you to wear gloves for your own protection. Our fifth item is found next to every sink: antibacterial soap. You would think that a product labeled antibacterial would be the superior choice for your health. Marketers have certainly encouraged this belief. The truth, however, is far more complex and concerning. Research has consistently highlighted the potential risks associated with these products, largely due to one active ingredient: triclosan. Triclosan has been associated with a host of negative health outcomes. It has been shown to interfere with thyroid hormone metabolism, contribute to antibiotic resistance, and even decrease immune function. Laboratory studies have confirmed its status as an endocrine disruptor, interfering with our body's hormonal signaling. But there is an even more direct and alarming chemical reaction that can take place right in your sink. When triclosan mixes with the chlorine present in most municipal tap water, it can react to form chloroform gas. Chloroform is a probable human carcinogen and a harmful disinfection byproduct. Exposure can lead to depression, liver problems, and an increased risk of cancer. You are, in effect, performing a small, dangerous chemistry experiment every time you wash your hands. In 2016, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration took the decisive step of banning triclosan and 18 other similar chemicals from over-the-counter consumer soaps. This decision was made because manufacturers could not prove that these chemicals were both safe for long-term use and more effective than plain soap and water. The takeaway is clear. Check the ingredient list of your soaps. If they contain triclosan, stop using them immediately. Plain soap and water are incredibly effective at removing and killing germs when used properly. That means lathering and scrubbing for at least 20 seconds. If you want an added, safer antibacterial boost, look for soaps containing benzoic acid, which has been shown to be a much safer alternative. Let's move into the kitchen to discuss our sixth item: non-stick pans. The convenience of a pan that food slides right off of is undeniable. It makes cooking and cleaning so much easier, but that slick surface, especially as it ages, can break down and release harmful fumes and particles. The material in question was historically made using a chemical called PFOA, or perfluorooctanoic acid. This substance is classified as a probable carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. When these non-stick coatings are overheated or scratched, they can release microscopic particles and toxic fumes that you can then ingest with your food or inhale. PFOA is what we call a forever chemical because it is incredibly stable and persists in the environment and in our bodies for a very long time. It's so pervasive that when tested, it was found in the blood of nearly every American. Research has linked high levels of PFOA in the body to higher cholesterol levels, increased susceptibility to thyroid disorders, and potential delays in puberty. In laboratory animals, it has caused birth defects and cancers. If you wish to err on the side of caution, and I believe you should, it is best to replace any old, flaking, or peeling non-stick pans immediately. Consider switching to more stable and traditional cookware materials like cast iron, stainless steel, or high-quality, solid ceramic. If you do continue to use non-stick pans, treat them with great care. Never preheat them empty or use them over very high heat. Always use gentle, non-scratching utensils like wood or silicone and clean them gently, avoiding abrasive scouring pads that can damage the surface. Our seventh hidden danger is often used to cover up other smells, the air freshener. Whether it's a spray, a plug-in, or a scented gel, an air freshener seems like a simple way to keep your living space smelling pleasant. Unfortunately, most of them work by releasing a chemical cocktail into your air, and this cocktail often contains those same harmful endocrine disruptors we discussed with candles, phthalates. These tiny chemical particles don't just vanish, they can attach to dust particles, allowing them to remain suspended in the air and circulating through your home for long periods. Frequent use of air fresheners can significantly increase the concentration of phthalates in your indoor environment. Research has confirmed this, showing that people who regularly use air fresheners and other scented cleaning products have measurably higher levels of phthalates in their urine. The health consequences of this constant low-level exposure are significant. High levels of phthalates have been linked to fertility problems in both men and women, neurological and learning difficulties in children, asthma, diabetes, and even breast cancer. Instead of masking odors with more chemicals, address them at the source. Open your windows to ventilate your rooms and refresh the air naturally. Introduce houseplants into your home. Beautiful plants like orchids, aloe vera, and English ivy are scientifically proven to be excellent at naturally purifying indoor air. And remember to vacuum and dust regularly, and opt for eco-friendly cleaning solutions like simple vinegar and baking soda to truly eliminate odors, not just cover them up. And now, we arrive at our eighth and final item, the one I urged you to wait for because of its pervasive and often misunderstood danger: plastic food containers. These containers are the backbone of modern food storage. They are versatile, lightweight, and incredibly convenient for storing leftovers and packing lunches. However, plastic is not as inert or as safe as we have been led to believe. Even plastics that are proudly labeled BPA-free can leach other synthetic chemicals that have an estrogen-mimicking effect on the body. A study from the Endocrine Society brought this into sharp focus. It found that exposure to common food preservatives like propylparaben can activate the very genes associated with the growth of breast cancer tumors. The chemical additives that give plastic its desirable properties, like phthalates and bisphenols, are not permanently locked into the plastic. They are prone to migrating or leaching out of the container and into the food and beverages they hold. This leaching process is dramatically accelerated by two things: heat and fat. When you microwave your leftovers in a plastic container, you are creating the perfect conditions to speed up this chemical transfer directly into your meal. Over time, as you ingest these tiny invisible doses of plastic-derived chemicals, your body can accumulate measurable levels of them. This accumulation disrupts the normal functioning of your hormones, the master communicators of your entire body. So here is the critical, actionable advice I promised you. Minimize your use of plastic food containers wherever possible. Make the simple switch to glass or stainless steel containers for food storage. They are inert, durable, and will not leach chemicals into your food. And I cannot stress this enough: never, ever microwave food in a plastic container. Be especially cautious when storing oily, fatty, or acidic foods in plastic, as these also increase the rate of chemical leaching. By making this one conscious change, you can significantly reduce the risks associated with these hormone-disrupting chemicals for yourself and your family. By being mindful of these 8 items, you can reclaim your home as a true sanctuary of health. Evaluate the products you use every day and replace those that pose a risk. Handle plastics and receipts with care, ventilate your rooms with fresh air, and adopt cleaning and personal care practices that work with nature, not against it. Taking these small, deliberate steps is a powerful way to prioritize your long-term well-being. Knowledge only works when you apply it. I'm Professor Vitalis. Stay curious, stay healthy, and never stop learning.